This week's episode of the Curious Podcats is brought to you by you, our valued listeners. If there are any topics you would like to hear us talk about, you can submit your suggestions at curious.podcasts@gmail.com. Also, if you want to show us some love and support, why not pop over to our Patreon page at patreon.com/The Curious Podcats. I know we can make it. That's what I'm trying to do here, trying to make sure that we can make it. At the end of the day, why do you think, I'm putting so much effort in?
Oh, yeah, we'll go.
I'm trying to sort out the sponsorships. It's my electricity. It's my internet. My computer. And what do? You just lie there.
You can't put a price on being funny, though.
Oh, that's true. Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of the Curious Podcats with Dr. Christopher and Lawless.
Yo.
Right. Oh, I believe our guest this week is Morgan Freeman, is that
None
right?
other than the Mr. Morgan Freeman.
Yes, God himself.
Shawshank Redemption and all them other films he was in I can't think of.
Wanted with Angelina Jolie and James McAvoy?
Ruined it.
Right.
So, and what are you talking about today, Andrew?
Me, I've actually got a number of different things I'm going to talk about today. The topic I wanted to talk about, which is near and dear to my heart, is about premonitions. I don't know if you believe in them or not, but that doesn't matter, because I do, because I have them. I've actually got a Mandela effect for us this week.
Oh?
Topic I came across by chance the other day in true Curious Podcats fashion is something called the Runit Dome.
Right.
And we also have a fun fact that was submitted by one of our listeners, Barry.
Oh. Shout out to Barry.
Yeah, shout out to Barry. And we also have some fan mail from Neil.
Oh.
Yes.
Shout out to Neil, 24/7.
Yeah, so he actually contacted us via the official podcast's email account.
Oh, do you want to read it out then, or?
Yes, so we'll start off with that one. So this is from our Neil. Meow meow, meow 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 meow, meow 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 whiskers meow purr.
I do agree with that. Statement, actually.
Yeah, I do. I fully agree with that, and we love you too, Neil.
Yeah, and we'll try. We'll try and clean it up a bit
After this episode.
After this episode.
No, there's no telling what fan mail Lawless has received. Obviously, what happened? We now do not have time to clean it up in advance.
Yeah, I get all the explicit stuff. For some reason, Joe gets the
meow,
more serious
meow meow
meows. Aye.
Yeah. I'm going to start us off with a joke.
Go on then.
And it's a dark joke.
That'll be funny.
But a man's walking into the woods with a young boy at night.
Right.
And the boy says, "It's so dark. I'm scared." And the man says, "How do you think I feel? I've got to walk back by myself."
Fuck's sake, man. I'll give you that one. Hopefully there's no lost little boys listening. So.
No, but maybe the men who had to walk back by themselves are listening.
Oh, on that note, I think we'll be expecting a phone call from Mr. Morgan Freeman. We've got something today as well, which is new. In fact, it's so new, Drew doesn't even really know about it. It's called Richie's Corner. And I've got music for that and everything.
Is it copyrighted?
God, I hope so. I'm going to read out fan mail and some agony aunt style questions and advice on life. Because apparently people hear my voice and think, this guy has it sorted.
It's funny that you should mention that, because after last week's episode, I did get a message from James. Mm-hmm. Do you remember James?
Possibly.
Crack.
Oh, right, aye.
Well, he said, after listening to last week's episode, that your voice is very soothing.
Really?
Yeah. You didn't know anything nice to say about me.
That's kind of how this show runs, actually.
I know, but yeah, it's...
Thank you, James. I didn't know James was listening.
yeah.
He's a freaking legend. Hello, James.
Well, since we're doing shout outs at the moment, we've done Neil, we've done James. We might as well get the third shout out of the way. So, this one's from Barry. Like I said, it's a little fun fact.
Yeah.
Did you know that Scotland, Northern Ireland, and Wales have their own governments, but England does not?
No, didn't know that.
Yeah. It stems back to 1999, when the Labour government was in charge, and there was referendums in Scotland and Wales to have their own government in addition to the overall UK government. And there was also the Good Friday Agreement with Northern Ireland.
Yeah.
So those three countries got their own governments because they wanted something separate from the UK government, the overall UK government. Where England didn't care. We just didn't care. We didn't want a separate English government from the UK government. And given that we constitute the majority of the UK population, there was actually concerns that having a separate English government would take too much power away from the overall UK government.
Right.
Because we have more numbers. But yeah, the little fun fact.
Thanks for that, Barry.
Yeah, England does not have its own government, so I went and had a look and found out that that's why.
Well, I didn't know that.
Now you do.
Right. Do you want to start?
What, you mean we haven't started already?
Oh, wait a minute. Here we go. Hello, Mr. Freeman. Are you on your way? Yeah, train station, yeah. What, and it fell off? Oh, it fell on the floor. Did anyone see it? Are you joking? You try and put it back on, yeah? No, I understand. Oh, God, how embarrassing, man. Oh. Well, I suggest you get home as quick as you can then. Make sure no one sees you. Yep. Yep. Best of luck. Right, bye. Bye. How embarrassing, man.
So what
His
fell
hat
off?
blew off from the train station.
And he missed the
People
train?
were laughing at him and stuff. And he couldn't get it back on. And he was all fumbling and stuff. And people were laughing at him. I just say his sister go home. He's too embarrassed. Stuff like that can wreck your career, you know.
I know.
Oh well.
But is he okay?
Yeah, he said alright. Said he was going for Greg's on the way home.
Oh, that's enough to sort anybody out. Good old Greg's. Okay, well... Yeah, okay, I'll start off. So I'll get some stuff out of the way before we delve into this new thing of Richie's call.
Yeah, I want you to do yours and then I can fuck the rest of the show. Yeah.
Sounds about right. First of all, found out where Pod's staying while waiting for Madam Jem to come back. Apparently he's decided to take up residence next door.
Oh, kind of next door cat.
Yeah, we've got a next door cat. I was coming back in a couple of nights back, and I happened to look into next door, not like peeping Tom looking in, but I happened to look up and glanced at
As I was glancing through my neighbour's window, I seen the cat.
Yeah, I saw the silhouette of the cat. What the hell's that? And as I got closer, because their kitchen window was right next to my front door, I thought, that's Pod.
You got such a fright you almost dropped your telescope and box of donuts.
Now come on, there's no way I dropped the donuts.
Yeah, I know. Telescopes are right off them.
The telescopes are easy enough to get, but donuts, that's another matter. Unless you happen to know Greg's. Which I do. I've had too many donuts from Greg's lately.
Yeah, you have.
I really have.
I'm eating Greg's for years.
I'm at Greg's. Well, I'm not at Greg's every day.
But Greg's is here every day.
Yeah. It's all Justy's fault. Okay. So I haven't really spoke to Pod. He's just been giving me the eyes.
Dirty looks through the window.
Pretty much. I did see him after last week's episode as well.
I did actually. He was on the wall outside.
When my dad seen him, my dad was trying to entice him in on Sunday.
You should bring him in, you know.
Okay, if I really invite him in, he might not leave.
It's for the fans. Don't be so selfish.
Can't help it. Okay.
Speaking of which, someone's asked for a signed photo, but we'll get to that later.
Is that part of Richie's Corner?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll get the Mandela effect out of the way. Because... Now, this is a Mandela effect that I fell for. And it's actually a fake Mandela effect.
Right.
Because I well and truly debunked this one. Have you ever watched any of the James Bond movies?
Yes.
You know Moonraker?
Vaguely.
The one where they go up to the space station.
Oh, but the moon is. Aye.
Not on the moon. It's the Moonraker space shuttles. And it's one of the ones with Jaws in. I think it's the last one with Jaws. It's the one where Jaws gets a girlfriend.
Oh, yes. I know what you're on about.
So you know how... Now, did she have braces?
I remember having braces.
She did have braces. Now, the problem is if you go back and watch Moonraker now, when it gets to the scene where after Jaws has crashed in the cable car, and she pushes the cog, helps him get the cog off him. If you look at it now, she doesn't have braces.
Right.
But originally, she did have braces in that scene. When they remastered Moonraker, they actually went back and edited the braces out.
Right? Why?
Because later on in the movie, when Jaws and Dolly, that's her name by the way, Dolly, when they're on Drax's space station, when they were shooting her scenes, they forgot to give her the braces to put back in.
Ah, right.
But they went and made... So that caused a continuity error. So when they remastered it, they went back and took the braces out. But that in itself caused another continuity error. Which nobody mentioned. Where in the scene where the braces were removed, her teeth are suddenly all like really shiny, Hollywood bleached, pearly white.
Yeah.
But when it gets to the scene on the space station, where they didn't do any editing to her mouth, she's got like the natural yellow stain to her teeth.
Right.
Without any bleaching being applied or anything, you know, there's like the natural yellow stain to the teeth. So instead of having braces, she's now got bleach white teeth, and then get later on in the movie where they did nothing to change, she's got a natural yellow stained teeth. But yeah, that's what caused the Mandela effect. With the I can't even call it a Mandela effect because it's not.
It's more just a movie mistake.
Yeah, it's just when they remastered it, they took her braces out, but it wasn't really talked about. And then all of a sudden, people are like, I thought she had braces in that scene, but there was no announcement about it really. And then people are like, oh, it's a Mandela effect. I'm sorry, but no. Dolly's braces in Moonraker are not a Mandela effect. That was digital editing when the remastering was done. Our braces were there to begin with, and then they took them out.
Case closed.
And well and truly closed. What's that noise?
Snow.
Oh yes, it is snowing here at the moment. We're supposed to be being hit by Beast from the East too. But we are getting snow, but we're not getting anything even remotely close to the original Beast from the East. There the other year. What was that, about 5-6 years ago now? That
Something
happened?
like that. That was good.
It doesn't really feel like it was that long ago, but that's the problem when you start getting on in life. At like our age, time, like the concept of time,
Since lockdown as well, time's just...
it feels like it's sped up.
Yeah.
But they always say that like when you're in school, time seems to go on forever, and then once you're out of education, time starts speeding by.
Yeah, it does.
And it's weird. It's weird. It really is. It's weird. But that actually brings me to a question I hadn't planned to ask. But I'm going to ask it now because I'm thinking about it.
Mm.
How did... When the inventor of the clock...
How did you know what time it was?
Yeah, how did you know what the time was to set on the clock?
Apparently it's something to do with sundials. But then again, you got time zones and stuff. I don't know. It's a good question.
Okay. So the serious topic I want to talk about today is something called the Runit Dome, which is
yeah.
Oh, you've heard of it?
Yes.
Yeah. It's on Runit Island, and what the Runit Dome is, it's somewhere that the United States picked for...
Is that where they put all the battery acid and stuff and nuclear waste and that?
I want to say not battery acid, but nuclear waste. There is nuclear waste there, but there's also nuclear debris from when they were doing the nuclear tests from 1946 to 1958.
Yeah.
So there was a three-year project from 1977 to 1980 where they dumped an estimated 73,000 cubic meters of radioactive debris, which includes plutonium-239, and the reason that's specifically picked out there, plutonium-239 is what is used for making nuclear weapons, as well as fuel for like nuclear reactors.
Bad shit.
Yeah, stuff that's going to kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they spent 3 years dumping all this debris there, and then covering it with a 46 centimetre thick concrete dome.
Yeah.
Now the thing is that where they put it is right at sea level, and they've found
Oh god.
that
It's leaking.
it's concrete, so yeah, it's weathering. Now yes, they have found that it's been leaking, but what's really disturbing is that they're not. Now this was from a survey back in 2013, right? They found that yes, it might be leaking radiation from the dome weathering, but the soil in the ground surrounding the dome is already that radioactive that the radiation leaking through the dome where the weathering's happening is less than the radiation levels of the ground surrounding it already.
Whose fucking right idea was that?
The US.
Oh, it says it all, no?
It's
Almost like they do it on purpose, isn't it?
yeah. But what are they going to do? I mean, this was something that was found back in 2013.
Well, they couldn't even use lead, because lead would get into the thing as well, wouldn't it?
What do you mean?
Because lead's quite dense, isn't it? They normally put like nuclear waste in lead and stuff, don't they? But then
I don't
you'd get
know.
lead poisoning and stuff, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I know lead's used for like blocking. It is used for
radiation and stuff. Right?
Like mainly gamma rays.
Yeah.
From like X-rays and that. But we'll say gamma ray radiation is able to be blocked by lead. But as for how it's used for containment of radioactive materials, I don't know. I don't know. I haven't looked into it.
Oh, I don't know. I may be wrong. I don't think there was. Maybe they just shouldn't mess about with nuclear waste and shit.
I think we just need to get away from nuclear technology in general and find it alternative means. Get away from the fossil fuels, get away from nuclear. The figuring out fission. No, fusion. We've already done. Nuclear is fission. The finally successfully. We mentioned this the other week that they successfully managed to have a fusion reaction. So we're not that far away from being able to have fusion power technology. Things will then start improving.
Mm-hmm.
But while we're talking about on the topic of sources for power, Nikola Tesla.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously not personally.
No.
But he wanted free electricity for all.
Yeah.
He wanted wireless electricity. Sort of like having the electrical currents passing through the air. And it all sounds great and fantastic, doesn't it?
Yes. Oh, you get radiation off it though, wouldn't you?
No, I don't think so.
It's got to be like living you have a pylon. It can't be good for you.
Well, it wouldn't be good for anything. Yes, we'd be able to power our homes with basic electrical goods.
Yeah.
Because at the time that he came up with the idea, it would have worked for the technology of that time. But the technology of now would be useless. It would destroy like our mobile phones.
Yeah.
It would fry. It would fry the circuit boards. Blow transistors, because the air would be just constantly charged.
It wouldn't be good, like.
No, it wouldn't be good. So, like modern day technology would have no computers. But certainly wouldn't be the Curious Podcats.
No.
No TV. We might have radio, but yeah, there'd be no TV, no computers, no internet, no mobile phones.
Sounds alright, actually.
In a way, yeah, I'm actually tempted to agree with you on that one.
I drew.
He did. He drew.
It's not bad though.
It's not bad. It's
not bad though. Your nose is a bit funny, but
yeah, but how's it on the drawing? But yeah, there you go. The Runit Dome.
that was quite good. Yeah. My brother mentioned that a while ago. We were talking about. He's into all that kind of stuff. Shout out to Amph if you're listening. If not, then you didn't hear it.
I don't think podcasts are really his thing, are they?
I don't think so.
He doesn't strike me as a podcast listener type.
Nah, but maybe if he found out what I'm doing one, he might tune in.
Yeah, and then he finds out that I'm taking part.
And then tune out. You got anything else before Richie's corner? Or?
What do you think about premonitions?
Right there. Yeah, I believe in them. I don't believe everyone has them, but people that do, it's pretty hard to deny it. Yeah. I've had some.
So you've had them yourself?
Oh yeah, I've had them like dreams and stuff, but I try not to focus too much on it because I don't really want that ability. Do you know what I mean? I'd rather just kind of ignore stuff like that.
See, I made that
because I've had
mistake.
dreams about people dying and stuff, and I don't want to know.
See, I did that. I blanked out my ability for a lot of years, and it was a mistake. Because at the end of the day, we're denying a part of ourselves. We've got this ability for a reason. I've had a number of different premonitions over the years, and like you said, it's very rarely, if ever, something good.
That's the problem.
It's nearly always dealing with something bad, and yet that does make us want to not have it. It feels more like a curse than a gift.
Yeah.
Because it might come across just like through like a dream as normal. So how do you differentiate between a dream and a premonition? So you're being given we're being given this knowledge, and we don't know how to deal with it. We don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
How do we stop this event from happening? Are we being shown so that we can stop it, or is it just pure chance that our subconscious is suddenly traveling faster than the speed of light and seeing events before they unfold, and then, but there's no way to actually change it.
Yeah.
No. But I have got a somewhat heartwarming story about me and premonitions, where it's one time where I actually did see something good.
Mm-hmm.
And this was actually like back end of last year, kind of beginning of this year.
Yeah.
So it's very recent. Now, I can't go into too much details because it's a personal matter for somebody else who I know and their family. Now, I hadn't really.
Oh, you've taught. I know what you're about.
Now, I hadn't really spoken to this person for a number of years, not properly. And all of a sudden, I had a dream about one of their parents. And when I woke up, I had that gut feeling.
Mm-hmm.
This wasn't just a dream. I haven't spoken to this person for a while. Why am I suddenly having a dream about them? And why about that particular topic? That's kind of a dark place for my dreams to be going. There's something more to this.
Mm-hmm.
So I contacted them and said, "What's wrong with your parent? What's going on?"
Mm-hmm.
My friend and the other parent clearly both freaked the hell out because nobody outside the immediate family knew what was going on. So how the hell did I, someone that I haven't spoken to for a few years, know something was wrong with the person that in question?
Yeah.
Well, a few weeks go by, and I have a second dream. And this is where it gets heartwarming. For the first time that I remember, I had a positive premonition. Well, it was a message from someone being passed to me to pass on to my friend to say, "Your parents going to be all right.
Yeah.
It's all good. Yeah, bad shit's just been happening this past year, however long it was that was going on for. It's all going to be getting, but things are about to turn out for the better."
Yeah.
A week late, I think it was a week after I had the dream, the message that I got that I passed on was confirmed.
Right. So I mean, stuff can be like coincidence and stuff, but the chances of it being a coincidence sometimes are just.
Yeah. And it being, and the way that happened with me, there it wasn't just one dream, but it was two separate dreams about the same topic.
Yeah.
Both of them turning out to be completely right. When I hadn't spoken to the person in years, so I had no idea what was going on in there.
So it's not even a subconscious thing, is it? Really?
Yeah. There's no way for that to be a coincidence.
No.
So yeah, so premonitions definitely real. ESP, extrasensory perception, definitely real.
Yeah, I mean, there's people that deny it and that, but it's like if you've never experienced it, then you're not going to believe it. I think,
Is it? I wouldn't say much. Say it so much as that if you don't experience it for yourself, then you're not going to believe it. I would say it's more without experiencing it for yourself. It's more difficult to believe it. You're more prone to being a skeptic.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean you're just automatically going to disbelieve it until you have your own personal experience. Like me, I believe in UFOs.
Oh, yeah.
But I've never seen a UFO. Not personally, not myself, not with my own eyes.
Yeah,
I've seen
like,
footage.
throughout history they've been reported, you know. So.
Yeah, yeah, you know, like ancient civilizations, you know, where they've got their murals or you know, their cave drawings,
Hieroglyphics and stuff.
hieroglyphic. You know, the stories all the way back in thousands of years that show evidence of contact from the stars.
And who is it that's denying it? The government, because they're trustworthy.
That's the thing, the government aren't even denying it anymore. They're now confirming it.
But they've denied it for a long time. If
Yeah,
they can lie about stuff now, right, what's to say that anything we've been told is true? The power they have throughout history, they could sense it. Well, they can't sense that stuff. They can hide the truth.
Well, they can and they have.
Exactly. So,
In the Vatican.
There's a rabbit hole in itself.
I mean, the Vatican's probably the worst one for censoring material. I mean, look at how they put the Bible together. You know, there's so many
books missing out of the Bible.
Yeah, there's so many books, or Gospels,
Yeah.
you know, that had been written that were left out. There was more left out than what there was put in.
I can imagine, yeah.
You know, because they cherry picked.
It's what suits their agenda.
Yeah, agenda. I was trying to remember the word agenda, but I couldn't think of it. That's why I was pausing. Thank you. Yeah, they had their own agenda about what message they wanted to send out. About that book doesn't fit with our agenda. We'll cut that one out, and so on and so forth. And now there are works, where the missing Gospels, someone's actually published them in a book. Well, what now? I think it was probably 15, 20 years ago, maybe now.
I know the Book of Enoch. That's a good one to read, apparently.
Oh, now it's funny you should mention the Book of Enoch, because I was just thinking about that while I was talking. Now, there is an issue with the Book of Enoch. The Book of Enoch is actually a fake. Because the Book of
there's 3 books of Enoch.
Well, the one I'm thinking of, it's because it makes mention of the events of Noah.
And the Nephilim. I'll say the Nephilim.
Nephilim's how you pronounce it.
Yeah.
But we'll not mention the Nephilim here, because the Nephilim was an event that led up to Noah making the raft.
Yeah.
The ark.
Yeah.
But the thing here was about Enoch. Well, this Book of Enoch mentioning Noah, which should be an impossibility, because in the story of Enoch, God removed Enoch from earth. Didn't kill him. Just removed him from earth and took him straight up to heaven. Prior to Moses even being born. I think Enoch was Moses' grandfather.
Moses he wrote Genesis and stuff, didn't he?
I don't know. That's something I've been thinking about.
God told Moses how it was created and stuff. So he actually wrote Genesis. And is it Exodus? I think. Is that book? I think. Don't quote us on it.
I can't remember where Exodus fits in. Obviously, Genesis is where things begin. Exodus is somewhere in the middle,
Like
and then it all ends with Revelations.
Oh, Revelations! Whew. That's a scary book.
Huh.
Right, that got a bit deep for what's coming next.
Well, if it's anything like last week's fan mail,
which was totally real, by the way.
Deep is not a word I want to be using in that respect.
Right, so take a picture, Drew. It's Drake.
That's is that just like?
That's your head on a penis.
No, I was gonna say, is that veins or hair?
Veins.
Veins, right?
Not a total monster. Right, so. Right, we've got some fan mail from Mrs. Dickfit. So we'll just play that intro music there. for this Richie's Corner. Totally didn't steal that from TikTok. Right, so this is from Wilma Dickfit. Hello, Podcats. Mrs. Dickfit here. I'm a 38-year-old mother of two. I've recently started listening to the podcast when the kids are at school and my husband is at work. I keep myself busy. I have 7 dogs, 1 cat, and a tiny mushroom that goes on a toilet system called Dave. I recently lost my job due to my stinking attitude and general hate for the public. But aside that, I feel a bit guilty for listening to the podcast because Richie's voice gets me wetter than an otter's pocket. I don't know whether to tell my husband or not in case he cancels my Spotify premium, which is, I would keep it to yourself. Drew, on the other hand,
I'm not going to like this, am I?
No, you don't. I'm sorry, we'll censor next week's. Drew, on the other hand, dries me right up like a vaginal sponge. Or when a cat pukes on wood flooring and they put sawdust on it. Drew is the sawdust to my cat puke. Can I have a signed picture of Pods and a picture of Richie's flaccid member? Of course you can.
Well, all I'm going to say in response to that, sorry, what was her name again? Wilma Dickfit. Well, all I'm going to say to that, Mrs. Dickfit, is Neil, you are right. We really do need to clean up our content.
Yeah, we do. We're in there, it's not finished yet.
What, there's more?
P.S. Why is Joe Wanger? Now, I know what you're thinking. Richie, you wrote this. But look at my face, Joe. I didn't.
I didn't.
I didn't.
I didn't.
I swear I didn't. And just to clear up, Richie's member is always flaccid due to a medical condition.
Actually, I'm going to have to contradict you. You don't have a member to have flaccid.
Ah, that's a different universe.
What, the PlayStation universe?
No, we really fell off several years ago. Oh, that's not the
I thought that was Pod.
Right, so another part of Richie's Corner is it's a Ask Richie. So we'll play the music for that.
Have you been camping outside of my bathroom window again?
No. Beautiful piece of music, man.
Where the hell did you find that?
I knew it, I wouldn't be there. Well, I was going to have it in the background as I'm reading them out, so bear with us, it might not happen.
I don't think there's any way to be able to read it out while that's playing without bursting into laughter.
Alright. Right, let's give it a go. Right, so this is from Dave from Sheffield. My clothes don't fit anymore because I have put on too much weight. What should I do? But Dave, don't wear clothes. Neighbours will love it. I've got another one from Claire the Chair from Swindon, asking on buying cat advice, but she's also allergic to cats and doesn't like them. My advice on buying cats would be... What is this? My advice on buying cats would be always buy new, never buy second hand. Always get the logbook and MOT certificate with it. Second hand cat, you never know where it's been, you know. And you might have someone turning up and asking for it back.
Yeah, are we talking about cats or cars?
Cats?
You don't MOT a cat.
Maybe you don't. So yeah, I'm sorry about that. Next week I will I will censor the emails before I read them out, because that could possibly be offensive to people. But Richie's Corner is here to stay, and that music is my ringtone.
And all I'm going to say is, I am completely sorry for the entire part that is Richie's Corner.
It has nothing to do with this bit.
I really don't. I didn't even know what was happening until today. And even then I didn't know what... He didn't tell me what was going to be involved.
Yeah. We'll try to mix it up a bit, yeah? Joe's all serious and intelligent.
And then Richie opens his mouth and I lose it.
Aye. I think it's nice to have a balance though, isn't it? Like, ooh, that was informative. And then by the end of it, that was also kind of offensive. But
Informatively offensive.
yes. Hopefully you find it funny.
God, that was a bit of a mouthful.
It's, yeah, it's all just a bit of fun.
Mostly. Right.
Uh-huh.
Before we go any further with anything else... I don't know what else you may or may not have planned.
That's it.
Okay, well, so it feels like the perfect time for it then. Word of the week.
Ooh, come on.
So my word of the week is gourmet. And a gourmet is somebody who, if I remember it, it's somebody who specialises in, so like sampling.
Like gourmet meals and stuff.
Yeah, someone who... here we go. Gourmet. A connoisseur of good food. That's what I was trying to get out.
So anyone, really. No one likes bad food, does it?
Yeah, but somebody who who's... I mean, people will eat bad food. We all eat bad food.
I'll eat anything, man.
No, you will. But a gourmet is someone who will point blank refuse like the bad food. They only like the taste of good food. The better the food is, obviously, the better it tastes. And they're constantly looking for...
something better?
Yeah, they're constantly looking for that next better thing.
You could also be called a picky eater.
Or gourmets put picky eaters to shame. That is how intense a gourmet is.
Ah.
You know, depending on the the particular gourmet's palate, they would turn to cannibalism.
I wouldn't know, yeah. Do you want mine?
Hit me.
Gammon.
Gammon?
Yeah, you can eat that.
Oh, okay. So they're in, our words are in sync this week.
Gourmet and gammon.
Yeah. Well, mine's about somebody who eats only good food. And
Gourmand.
What?
Gourmand.
I'll think about it. Oh, no. Gourmand. Gourmand.
Well, Potts didn't show up this week.
No, he did not.
Disappointment.
No, I think the neighbour's keeping him in because of how cold it is at the minute.
It is actually snowing, like.
It has been snowing twice, I think, since we started recording.
So, I think that went well, considering.
Considering everything.
Considering everything, yeah. I had a good time.
How the hell did you find that piece of music?
There's certain parts of the internet that it just shouldn't tread, and I went there for this show. It's commitment, Joe. Commitment. You should try it sometime, you know.
Are you going to talk to me about commitment to the show? Me?
Yes.
With how much effort I put in. Podcast.